I mean, initially I thought that only the freshers who haven't seen the corporate jungle, they are scared. Listening to you, I sense that it is not just for the freshers, but for anyone.
Yes,
Is it true?
absolutely. Even though you said 3 decades of experience, but also I have 3 decades of anxiety. Okay, in my business, I've been a sales guy all my life, so it's a function that is full of stress
Oh,
because you're
yes.
having to meet daily targets, weekly
Targets,
targets, monthly targets,
projections.
and now it's also profitability target, and I have been dealing with it all my life, and but now I'm dealing with it in a much better way. We've been through a pandemic that created its own level of anxiety with layoffs, with salary cuts happening, with business not happening. Will we have a job, not have a job? And in that process, I also grew because I had 400 people who were looking up to me as a shepherd to lead them out of it, to lead the company, to make it thrive in the middle of a crisis, to keep their livelihoods going. And I said, I need to pull myself out of, I need to be who I can be, the best I can be. And I think that's where the secret is. Just do your best. That's it. Don't bother about what anyone is going to judge whether your best was good enough for them or not. Because each of us lives and runs our own race.
Accepting anxiety is still a lot of friction. A lot of friction that how can I accept that I am anxious? I'll be labeled as weak. That, oh, look at this guy. He is so anxious. We can never talk about it openly. If supposedly in the interview, they ask you, hey, what's your weakness? I'll go with those typical answers that, hey, I'm a workaholic, I do this. But I'll never speak that, you know what, there are moments when I am anxious. Acceptance by people around is not there. How does one deal with that?
Try being vulnerable. And you gave a very nice example of an interview. 4 people are there, and they ask you, and of course we come up with these answers that we have read on Google, maybe on how to address tech questions and things like that. Just be yourself, and if you're anxious, say I'm anxious. Now if they don't select you because of that, then you're anyway joining the wrong organization,
So true.
because when you join them, that's the kind of culture they have, where they don't allow people to be themselves. So it's good you didn't pass the interview because you chose to be vulnerable. And we don't want to work in a company in which we can't be vulnerable, we can't be ourselves. Sooner or later you'll quit, right? It doesn't mean that you have to be, foolishly truthful also. Like, how do you take meetings? I take them in a pajamas. You don't want to say that. I mean, we can be proper about some things. But definitely you need to, you had very rightly said, it's important to be vulnerable. Just like I'm being vulnerable at the moment. I'm revealing things to you I never told anyone. I'm purposely being vulnerable. Otherwise, I don't think I can make my point adequately enough.
In my childhood, I come from Dehradun,
Yeah.
a school called
Great city.
Brightlands. So Brightlands is a place where they are very precise and it's very competitive. Everyone scores a 99% and then around. So proving yourself every single time. You have to be so accurate with your answers that if one word here and there, you lose half a mark.
Yes.
And today, when I go for my sessions or presentations or any dealings, I have to prepare really hard that, okay, in case if I
Yes.
lose that half mark also, or maybe any kind of thing can happen. So giving that, like, the perfectionism has been since childhood and it makes me anxious.
Yeah.
So this understanding of where it comes from
Yes.
gives you a lot of peace that, okay, it is not something I am born with. There is some deformity. There's something wrong with me. It is coming from that place, and you'll get okay, peace, peace.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all should strive to be the best version of ourselves. Some people call it perfectionism. Some people call it always being a workaholic, maybe. But I would say if you can just be the best version of yourself the way you believe that you can be, and if you love doing what you're doing, then just do it. Sharpen your axe all the time. But don't do it out of fear. Don't do it out of anxiety. Don't do it out of wanting to please someone, but to leave your legacy behind in the world.